Welcome, Sagittarius, to your Pisces new moon, 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun or the moon. At 28 degrees, this is the seventh and final new moon of an incredible sequence that began last September, but it also occurs right at the end of the overall zodiac. So it's a time of transition. What does this mean for you, Sagittarius? I'm going to share your unique event chart from a purely Sagittarian perspective. At the end of the video, you'll have a clearer picture of what you can expect over the next 4 weeks in terms of relationships, finance, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. So new moons are when the sun and the moon are unified. Essentially, it's a moon cazimi, the potency and radiance of the sun warming up the mystery, but also the unique beauty of the moon, which is very much to do with nurture, security, and emotions. But the host is the water sign of Pisces. And the combination of the two of them, the king of the sky and the queen of the sky, together is in the last decan of the sign of Pisces, which is sub-ruled by Mars. Mars rules two zodiac signs, Aries uniquely, and Scorpio along with Pluto. The fourth house energy is really asking you to be attuned to your inner world. But if we think about the big picture over the last couple of years, the stern, steady Eddie of the zodiac, Saturn, made his way through this area. And you may have encountered some tender times. It may have been around a close relationship. It could have been around a family matter, maybe around where you lived, maybe some structural issues. Maybe you've been working deep within yourself. So that's why on this particular unique new moon, I feel it could be a time of culmination, of good things occurring for all the hard work over these last few years. But undoubtedly, if you want to move home, improve where you're living, add to your family, reconnect to close loved ones, the next month does offer opportunities. Mars, the planet of passion, in the fourth house, can be a little bit of a tricky influence, maybe at times a bit defensive, prickly. It's possible that even recently with Mercury, the planet of communication, detrimented in the sign of Pisces from the 6th of February and then going retrograde towards the end of the month for the last 3 weeks, that there could have been some delays, perhaps to home repairs, maybe a contractor has been unreliable, perhaps there's been some misunderstandings with someone close to you. Maybe you've just felt a little bit sort of exasperated about some parts of your life, and Mars may have at times added to that sense of feeling a bit up against it. But do know on this event, Mars is forging a quite sensational link to your ruler Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's been in your 8th house since last June, initially conflicted by the greater malefic Saturn. Thanks, Saturn. So when it comes to having fun or being close, that wasn't great. And maybe not so great for more speculative strands either. Later last year, Saturn and Jupiter started to get on better. And then Jupiter decided to go into its annual 4-month retrograde. It's only just emerged. So if you have been waiting to move forwards with something to do with finance linked to a property, I think things can speed up quite quickly over the next few weeks. Also, Mercury's retrograde ends on the 20th, on just after the vernal equinox. You could get a letter. Maybe it's linked to something to do with a property matter. Maybe it's going to be a communication with someone that has seemed out of touch or distant or preoccupied, and that's pleasing too. But the other connection that is so positive is the link between these guys and Uranus. Uranus in your 6th house over the last 7 years, for all but the 4 months last year, has probably made routines difficult to get or to achieve, but then there may have been a part of you that didn't like them, even if they were available to you. You may have had quite a few changes around work. There may have been some sudden events around your physical well-being. But the link between Uranus and the Sun and the Moon suggests that part of most Sagittarians' nature, which requires space, particularly in your physical environment and also emotionally, is actually really supported by Uranus. But if you have been feeling that your home is getting you down a bit, one great way that you can improve things over the next 4 weeks is to declutter. It might sound incredibly simplistic, but just taking things out of your space that you no longer use in a functional way and don't have a great impact as in terms of an emotional memento, Pisces, fourth house, releasing them can actually free up greater energy for you. If you work from home, I feel that you're going to become very much more skilled at balancing the domestic demands with concentrating on what you need to do. And you may have a brainwave in order to achieve that. You could even start offering a service locally in your community, which is a bit left field, but has great potential. So that's really exciting. It's also possible with Uranus in the sixth house, which can be about work, that some kind of sudden opportunity to earn extra money, but work from home or work part time, particularly if you've got children, where you can just be quite flexible. Remember, the sign of Pisces is about fluidity. That also works well for you. What about the transition that we're going to go through? Because immediately after this event, we have the vernal equinox. The sun moves into Aries, your fellow fire sign, where it's exalted, second favorite place in its entire journey, but it is linking, even on this event, with the drifting, dreamy energies of Neptune. If you're feeling rather whimsical about someone you used to be involved with, wouldn't be a surprise, maybe even quite nostalgic. Whether that will last or not, I don't know. As the Sun makes its transition and meets with Saturn in the middle of next week, it could be a time when a relationship that maybe it has some qualities that you like, but what you've learned with Saturn, I think, is a lot about being in touch with your inner world. In the past, as I've often said, I think Sagittarians have this great gift and enthusiasm for knowledge and being on the move and being very active and daring, but perhaps not always processing bits and pieces of disappointments. And I think Saturn has generally over the last couple of years been asking you to clear up loose ends. But if you are thinking about an old relationship or even someone within your family, yes, that whimsicalness could be there, but a touch of cold reality may come in quite quickly next week. As far as Venus is concerned, Venus, of course, can be about joyful relationships. That's in a wonderful link with Jupiter, your ruler. It's a square, but it's one of those squares which can be very good. If there is someone you fancy, and there isn't a kind of limitation on it because they're focused on their kids if they're older, or they live too far away, or perhaps they find it difficult to let themselves relax in the way that you like. If there is someone that you're attracted to where you can be yourself and at the same time you really fancy them, that could be quite exciting. Also, whereas Saturn made speculation difficult for Jupiter when Jupiter arrived, Venus can bless it. So over the next month, if you are wanting to do something a bit different, as long as it feels right, Sagittarius, that's all about that Piscean fourth house energy. And the other thing to share is that Pluto and Saturn coming into a sextile, your words, thoughts, ideas, structured in a creative way, could take you a long way. So that's really exciting too. So to recap, as far as uh, relationships are concerned, I think there has to be an emotional dimension that's working. If you have been having some frustrations around your home, emotional, or family life, I think they can soon start to clear. If you are thinking about someone from your past romantically, just be aware that as much as there may have been a great sexual chemistry between you, if you weren't aligning in terms of just being comfortable emotionally, that might still be an issue. It might have shifted. In terms of work, if you can be open to being a bit more organized and also being conscious of the environment. So, say, for example, you work somewhere, but you don't really like the atmosphere, the people, that's feeding into your soul because the fourth house is all about emotion. So the root of your being is being activated by this new moon, just at a time when you could roar into much more outgoing, charismatic form, but not straight away. That's going to take a week or so after the vernal equinox. In terms of finance, yeah, I think as long as you really are aware of all the ins and outs and you can be one of the most informed of all zodiac signs, there is the potential to improve that. So, wishing you all the best. If you've yet to watch your Jupiter Direct video, please click on the screen for that. Mars in Pisces, that video. You can get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Written these for years, and they give you an opportunity to have that celestial pit stop early in the day, just that moment of reflection. Please see below for more. Like to work with me? Please see below for more. Like to order your personal horoscopes? Please see below for more. But on those, the Life Roadmap report will help you to understand patterns, but also gain searing insights how to work with them. The forecast, where to time your moves, totally unique to each person, great value, very accurate, 50% off if you apply Astro 26 to the Natal, 50% off if you apply Draco 26 to the Soul Karmic Draconic charts. Thank you so much for joining me. All the best, Sagittarius, and goodbye.